Now it is time to add some security in the API by using the sign up and login process. To add a new user in our application, we need some changes in the database. For example, if we want to store some data of users, then we have to create a new table with name users or some other name, and in that table we will store all the details about this user. When we will grow our application, then along with the functionalities we will need to add more tables in that database. We need these tables to handle role management, the login management, all those things. There are multiple ways to handle these scenarios in ASP.NET Core application. Either you can create your entire code custom or you can use some built-in libraries. In ASP.NET Core, there are a couple of built-in libraries that we can use to handle this authentication and authorization process. If we are using these libraries, then we will get everything that is required to handle the login and sign up. Not only login and sign up, other than this, like change password, forgot password, everything that is required to work with the authentication and authorization in the modern world, we will get everything by using these libraries. Now, if we talk about the ASP.NET Core Web API, then the best framework to deal with the authentication and authorization is Identity Core. Let's have a look what is this Identity Core. This Identity Core is an open source framework and it is supported by Microsoft. Identity Core has everything that is required to work with the authentication and authorization. This includes sign up, login, change password, forgot password, multi-factor authentication, login with third-party APIs like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, LinkedIn, etc. Along with these features, this Identity Core works with Entity Framework Core. It will provide you all the tables that are required to work with the authentication and authorization. Identity Core is supported by Microsoft, so it is trusted and the best powerful library for the authentication and authorization. Now let's open the Visual Studio and let's install the Identity Core. The packages of Identity Core are available at the NuGet. So we can use the NuGet package manager. Let's right click over here. Here in this browse tab, we have to search for Identity Core. Over here you can see that we have this package microsoft.aspnetcore.identity, but this is the core package. Since we are dealing with the Entity Framework Core, so we can use this package microsoft.aspnetcore.identity.entity framework core. If you will install this identity.entity framework core, then this package will get installed automatically. Let's install this one. Hit the OK button. Accept the changes. The package has been installed successfully. Now we have to make some changes in this application to include this Identity Core. We will start the process of Identity Core by creating a new model in this application. Let's expand this models folder and add a new class over here. I am creating this class to add the properties of the user table. You can give any meaningful name to your class, but here I am writing application user. Hit the add button. Because we are using the Identity Core, so all these tables are provided by the Identity Core, and in this table there are some columns that are predefined. If you are using this application user, then we have to inherit this class from Identity User. That Identity User class already has few columns. Let's drive this application user from Identity User. Resolve the namespace. Now let's see what we got in this Identity User. Right click on this one and choose go to definition. Let's go to the definition of this one also. Over here you can see that there are a couple of properties. We have lookout and two-factor enable, phone number confirm, phone number, security stamp, password hash, email confirm, email, username, ID. These are the columns that are given by this Identity Core framework to us. If you are okay with all these columns, then there is no need to add this application user class. You can simply use Identity User everywhere. But because I want to add few more properties like first name and last name, so I have to create a new class and then drive that class from this Identity User. Most of the columns are provided by this Identity User, so here I am going to create only two properties. The first property is first name. Now we are done with the changes. Now we have to make some changes in the context class. Let's open the context class. It is available inside this data folder, bookstore context. Here you can see that we are using this DB context. Now because we are dealing with the identity, so instead of using this DB context, we have to use identity DB context. Resolve the namespace. If you are not using this application user class, then we are okay with the changes. But if you are using a new class, then you have to provide that class name over here. The name of the class is application user. Is all the namespace. There we go. At this point, you might have a question like, earlier we were using the DB context, but now we are using identity DB context, and as a result, some of the earlier functionality will not work. But no, this is not the case. To get the proper answer, let's right click on this one and choose go to definition. Here you can see that this class is inherited from couple of more classes. We have identity DB context and we have identity user. Let's right click on this one and again go to definition. Again, and finally you will see that this identity user context is derived from the DB context. So if you are using the identity DB context, then ultimately we have derived from this DB context. It means there will not be any problem in the previous functionalities because we are already using this DB context via this identity DB context. Now let's make some changes in our startup class. In the startup class over here you can see that we have added this DB context class, but now since we are using the identity, so we have to tell our application that we are using the identity core in this application. We can do that easily by using this services dot add identity, and in this add identity we have to provide couple of classes. Here as a first parameter we have to pass the user class. The user class is application user. Is all the namespace. And in the second parameter we have to pass the role class. Because we have not created any custom class for the role, so the default class that is provided by the identity, we will use that one, and the name of that class is identity role. This one is all the namespace. You can see that this is available under this Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.identity. Let's see the details of this add identity. Right click on this one and choose go to definition. Here you can see that this is expecting two types. First is T user, second is T role. The T user is identity user. If you have not created any new class, then you can use identity user over here, and in the second one we have to pass the role. Because we have not created any custom class for this one, so here we are using identity role. Now we have added the identity over here, but because we are dealing with the entity framework core, so we have to add a new store by using the entity framework core. Let's do that. Entity framework stores, and in this entity framework store we have to pass the name of our context class. The name of the context class is this bookstore context. Copy this one, go back to the startup class, paste it over here, and that's it. Now we have added and configured the identity in this application, but because you are dealing with the identity, so we need some tokens, and for that token we can use the default token provider, or we can also use some third-party token provider. If you are using this add default token provider, then this identity will add all the tokens. We have installed the identity and we have configured it in the application. Now it is time to create the new migration script. Let's go to the tools, NuGet package manager, hit this package manager console. Let's write a new command, add migration. Give it a meaningful name like added identity. Hit the enter button. We got a new migration under this migrations folder. Let's see what we got in this migration. Here you can see that as usual we have two methods. First is up, second is down. Let's see what we got in this up method. In this up method you can see that we have some command to create new tables. The first table is ASP.NET roles. Then we have ASP.NET users. Then you can see ASP.NET role claims. Like this we have multiple tables, and all these tables are provided by the identity core. These tables are very helpful to handle everything that is required for the authentication and authorization. Now let's update the database by using second command, that is update database. Hit the enter button. It is done. Now let's verify the changes in the database. Let's expand this tables folder And this time over here you can see that we have lots of tables. We will add all the sign up records in this ASP.NET users tables. Let's see what columns we got in this ASP.NET users. Here you can see that we have lots of columns. These first name and last name columns are added by the application user, but all other columns are provided by the Identity Core framework. Now we have installed and configured the identity in this application. We have also generated all the tables in the database. Now it is time to work on the sign up.